Picture this, an endless stretch of dark rolling waves, the vast Atlantic Ocean seeming to swallow the horizon. The date is December 4th, 1872. Far from any known shore, a solitary ship drifts, her sails taut against the wind. From a distance, she appears as any vessel might, resilient, intact, moving almost by some unseen hand. But as we draw closer, something feels wrong. There is no one on deck, no voices, no movement, only the eerie creak of wood, the groaning of ropes straining against the mast. This was the Mary Celeste, a proud American brigantine, set out to sail across oceans, and yet she is empty. Her captain, his family, and crew have vanished, leaving no sign, no trace of what took place. Was it a tragic accident, or was there something far more unexplainable at work? An unsettling silence lingers over her abandoned decks, as if guarding secrets too haunting to be revealed. Today we ask, what really happened to the Mary Celeste and her vanished crew? Join us as we delve into one of the sea's greatest mysteries. The Mary Celeste was no ordinary ship. Built in 1861, she had weathered storms, traversed treacherous seas, and carried countless cargoes across the Atlantic. By 1872, she was entrusted to the capable hands of Captain Benjamin Briggs, a man known for his skill, integrity, and unwavering devotion to his family. Briggs was no stranger to the sea, but this voyage would be different. He brought his wife, Sarah, and their 2-year-old daughter, Sophia, along for the journey. Joining them were 7 crew members, each selected for their experience and loyalty, each ready to brave the unpredictable Atlantic waters. On November 7, 1872, the Mary Celeste set sail from New York, her destination the bustling port of Genoa, Italy. Her cargo, 1,701 barrels of denatured alcohol, a volatile substance that required careful handling. For Briggs, it was a straightforward mission. Carry the cargo safely to Genoa, reunite with family friends, and enjoy the fruits of yet another successful passage. And so, on that chilly November morning, the Mary Celeste drifted away from New York's harbor, her sails stretched wide, her course set. Yet, this would be the last time anyone would see her crew alive. Somewhere in the vast, unforgiving expanse of the Atlantic, this ordinary voyage turned into an extraordinary mystery, one that would baffle and haunt sailors, historians, and storytellers for generations to come. What could have driven an experienced captain, his family, and a trusted crew to abandon a ship still fit to sail? As we journey deeper into the story, the answers remain elusive, the clues fragmented, each one leading us further into the unknown. Nearly a month after the Mary Celeste departed from New York, on December 4th, 1872, the British brig Dei Grazia was making her way through the cold, silent Atlantic waters, bound for Gibraltar. Her captain, David Morehouse, a man of steady character and keen perception, noticed a vessel drifting in the distance. Its sails were set, but it seemed aimless, moving not with purpose, but as though it were lost. As the Dei Grazia drew nearer, Captain Morehouse recognized the vessel. It was the Mary Celeste. Morehouse and Briggs were acquaintances, and the sight of the Mary Celeste adrift, in no apparent distress, yet without a guiding hand, stirred an unease within him. Why was she here, seemingly abandoned, so far off her course? Morehouse ordered a boarding party to inspect the ship. As his men stepped onto the Mary Celeste, an eerie silence enveloped them. There were no voices, no footsteps, no sounds of life, just the hollow creaks of a ship that seemed forsaken. The deck lay empty, save for the scattered remnants of a voyage interrupted. Below deck, the sense of mystery only deepened. The cabins, eerily untouched, showed signs of recent use. Clothes were folded, belongings were neatly arranged. Even a sewing machine with half-finished work still lay on a table. In the galley, provisions were stocked, and a meal seemed to have been freshly prepared. But there was not a single soul to claim it. The cargo hold revealed the barrels of denatured alcohol, perfectly intact and untouched, worth a small fortune. Yet another baffling clue. But one detail stood out above all others. The lifeboat was missing, suggesting an evacuation. But why? The Mary Celeste was seaworthy. Her hull was sound. Her sails were up. There was no waterlogging, no signs of a struggle, no evidence of a violent storm that would have forced her crew to flee. With each step, Captain Morehouse's men were confronted with the unsettling reality that this was no ordinary ship adrift. Something inexplicable had taken place here. Something that defied the laws of seamanship. Something that left a vessel floating empty in the vast ocean, as if she carried ghosts, clinging to the mystery of what had unfolded aboard the Mary Celeste. As Captain Morehouse's men moved cautiously through the silent halls of the Mary Celeste, each step revealed another layer of mystery, each clue pointing to an untold story. In the mess hall, the table lay set, plates and cutlery neatly arranged, as if a meal had been interrupted. The remains of breakfast, bread, eggs, and a few stray crumbs, sat untouched cold, yet preserved by the chill of the open sea air. The meal seemed to be waiting, abandoned mid-bite, as though the crew had left in a hurry, with no time to even clear their plates. The ship itself was fully operational. The cargo hold was intact, the supplies plentiful, and the sails rigged. All that was missing was the people. There were no signs of violence, no blood, no splintered wood or broken glass to indicate a struggle. Below deck, beds were made, trunks of clothing were undisturbed, and personal items lay where they had been placed, almost as though the crew would be returning at any moment. But the silence was unbroken, as if frozen in time. Most haunting of all was the ship's logbook, left open to the last entry, dated November 25th, 1872, 10 days before her discovery. Captain Briggs' notes described routine observations. The ship's position, weather conditions, nothing out of the ordinary. His final entry recorded the Mary Celeste's location just off the coast of the Azores. And then nothing. The entries stopped abruptly, with no indication of what was to come, leaving only a blank page and a void of unanswered questions. The lifeboat, the only means of escape, was gone. It was the one element out of place, as if the crew had gathered, climbed aboard, and slipped away, leaving their floating home behind. Yet the sea had been calm, the weather fair, and the Mary Celeste seaworthy. So, why would an experienced captain abandon his vessel? Each clue defied logic. Each empty room held its own chilling silence. And as Morehouse's men pieced together these scattered fragments, they found themselves standing on a ship that seemed to exist between worlds, a vessel left behind by those who had disappeared into the unknown, taking their final moments with them. And so, the Mary Celeste continued to drift, an unsolved puzzle cast upon the open sea. If you've made it this far, clearly this story has you captivated, just as it has fascinated sailors and storytellers for over a century. If you'd like to join us on more journeys through some of the world's most puzzling mysteries, be sure to subscribe and stay tuned for more stories that will leave you questioning what you know about the world around us. Now, let's look at one of the most rational, yet chilling explanations proposed for the vanishing of the Mary Celeste crew. Some believe that the answer lies in nature's terrifying unpredictability. The theory suggests that a sudden rogue wave or a powerful waterspout may have struck the ship without warning. These natural phenomena are rare, but known to occur in open seas. a rogue wave, towering and unanticipated, could crash against the side of a vessel, sending torrents of water over the deck and creating an immediate sense of panic. In an instant, the crew might have feared that the Mary Celeste was sinking, prompting them to abandon ship and take to the lifeboat in desperation. Similarly, a waterspout, a swirling column of ocean water reaching up into the sky, could form with shocking speed and ferocity. Imagine the scene, a twisting tower of water and wind approaching the vessel, threatening to pull anything in its path into the depths. For the crew, the sight of such a force would have been terrifying. In the chaos, they may have believed that fleeing was their only hope. Yet, the strange part of this theory lies in what was left behind. A rogue wave, fierce as it may be, wouldn't leave lasting marks on the ship's structure. Nor would a waterspout necessarily cause visible damage. It's possible the Mary Celeste endured these forces, but was left intact, save for the missing lifeboat. This theory, though plausible, only adds to the mystery. Even if the crew did flee in fear, why weren't they ever found? The sea was calm that day, with no storms recorded. Could such a powerful force have truly struck, only to leave the ship untouched, and its crew lost forever? Among the most debated theories is one that points directly to the Mary Celeste's mysterious cargo. On board were over 1,700 barrels of denatured alcohol, a highly flammable and volatile substance, carefully sealed and stored for transport to Genoa. For the crew, the dangers of such a cargo would have been well understood. Even a minor leak could create fumes powerful enough to ignite with a single spark, setting the entire ship ablaze. Now, imagine the scenario. Perhaps one or more of these barrels had started to leak, sending invisible clouds of alcohol fumes drifting through the lower decks. The smell alone might have been enough to raise alarms among the crew. Experienced sailors, they would have known how quickly such a situation could spiral out of control. In a moment of panic, fearing that any spark or open flame could trigger an explosion, Captain Briggs may have ordered an immediate evacuation as a precaution. This could explain why the lifeboat was missing, as the crew may have boarded it, intending to temporarily wait at a safe distance until the fumes dissipated and the risk was clear. They might have thought they'd return once the danger had passed, never expecting to be permanently separated from their ship. But why, then, did they never come back? Did a sudden gust carry them away from the Mary Celeste, leaving them lost in open waters, unable to reconnect with the vessel? Or was it something else entirely that prevented their return? The theory offers a logical reason for the abandonment, yet the fate of the crew remains hauntingly uncertain. The open sea, it seems, has a way of swallowing answers, leaving behind only the fragments of a story and the lingering question of what really happened in those final moments on the Mary Celeste. Another theory often proposed is one that's all too familiar to sailors of the 19th century: piracy or even mutiny. Perhaps, some suggest, the Mary Celeste had fallen prey to hostile forces at sea, a scenario that could explain why she was found adrift and empty. Pirates, after all, were known to terrorize the Atlantic, taking over ships, looting cargo, and leaving chaos in their wake. Alternatively, could the Mary Celeste's own crew have turned against each other in an act of mutiny? It's an intriguing thought, yet one that falls apart under closer scrutiny. When Captain Morehouse and his men boarded the Mary Celeste, they found no signs of a struggle. There were no splintered doors, no bloodstains, no broken belongings. Every personal item was left in place, as though untouched by hostile hands. Even the cargo of denatured alcohol, valuable and highly sought after, was completely intact. If pirates had indeed boarded the vessel, they would surely have taken more than just the lives of the crew. Similarly, the theory of mutiny fails to provide satisfying answers. Captain Briggs was known as a disciplined but fair leader, respected by his crew. The men on board had sailed under his command before, and there were no prior signs of conflict or unrest. Had there been a mutiny, some evidence of violence or disorder would likely have remained. Yet every item and room on the Mary Celeste was undisturbed, as if preserved in a moment of eerie stillness. Experts have debated this theory for years, examining every possible angle, yet no concrete evidence supports an attack or uprising. Ultimately, piracy and mutiny are dismissed by most as explanations that don't fit the facts. The Mary Celeste remained eerily orderly, with her valuables untouched and her cargo safe, an unlikely scene if foul play had indeed been the cause. Once more, the mystery deepens, as a theory that seemed plausible at first is cast aside, leaving us to wonder what unseen force compelled the crew to disappear, leaving their ship to drift empty upon the open ocean. Throughout history, the open sea has been a place of mystery, a vast, uncharted realm where strange occurrences are whispered about in dark corners and shared among sailors as quiet warnings. It's here on these endless waters that tales of ghost ships and eerie phenomena take root, stories of vessels that drift, empty, carrying only the echo of vanished souls. When it comes to the Mary Celeste, some believe her fate was not bound by the natural world, but by forces beyond our understanding. Was this ship cursed? Had something otherworldly intervened? For centuries, sailors have told of ghost ships appearing out of nowhere, of apparitions and strange lights glowing over empty decks, of voices carried by the wind, calling out from abandoned hulls. To these seafarers, the Mary Celeste's mystery would be neither unique nor surprising. It would simply be another haunting story among many. Legends like the Flying Dutchman, a ship said to be doomed to sail forever with a phantom crew, serve as dark reminders of the supernatural power the sea is believed to hold. In a time when maritime superstitions ran deep, the disappearance of the Mary Celeste's crew might have been seen as a warning, a tale of how the sea claims those who defy her. Though unproven, these tales of the supernatural have added a chilling allure to the story of the Mary Celeste. For some, it's not enough to believe that a simple natural event caused the crew's disappearance. There must be more, something darker, perhaps lurking just beneath the surface, waiting for the right moment to emerge. Was the Mary Celeste truly abandoned, or did she cross a line into something we can't explain, leaving her to drift with a phantom crew of her own? This theory may not satisfy logic, but it satisfies a deeper fear, that the sea holds secrets meant to remain hidden. And for those who venture too far into her domain, there may be no return. Each theory, from rogue waves and leaking fumes to mutiny and the supernatural, offers a glimpse into what might have happened on that fateful voyage. Yet, none of these explanations fully solve the mystery. The Mary Celeste remains an enigma, a puzzle with pieces that refuse to fit. Every clue found aboard only deepens the mystery, as if the ship itself were guarding secrets that would never see the light of day. For over a century, historians, sailors, and storytellers have been captivated by the Mary Celeste, drawn back time and again to her haunting tale. She has become more than just a ship. She's a legend, a ghostly reminder of how the sea can take without warning, leaving us with questions that echo through the ages. The Mary Celeste was found drifting on a calm sea, her lifeboat missing, her decks eerily silent. Did her crew fall victim to the elements, or to something far beyond our understanding? Perhaps. In the end, the truth of what happened aboard the Mary Celeste will remain forever lost, claimed by the endless, indifferent ocean. And so, the mystery lives on, calling out to those who dare to listen, tempting us to look closer, even as the answers slip further from our grasp. What do you think happened on that fateful day? Was it a force of nature, a tragic accident, or something beyond what we can explain? Leave your theories in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you think. And if you're drawn to mysteries like this one, stories of eerie disappearances and unsolved puzzles from the darkest corners of history, make sure to subscribe. Join us as we explore more mysteries of the deep, where the unknown awaits.